Hey guys, Mike from GetVoIP.com, and this is a continuation of our review and getting started with Jive Communications. For those who don't know, Jive have been in business since 2006. They are an enterprise-grade hosted VoIP service. They also have unified communications. For being in business only 7 years, they have some big names on their roster as far as partners. They are with Verizon, Cisco, and Microsoft. And what I'm about to show you is going to be proof of that, exactly why these big companies rely on this PBX service. So let me show you guys the back end here. We'll get right into it. This is the home screen. This is more or less an overlay of your entire system. Some of the extensions, it has a fax number that comes with it, and the main dial plan is something that I'll show you in a moment. On the back end here, you can also get detailed analytics. As you can see, it's a clean slate since we just launched the service yesterday, and we're still getting the hang of it ourselves, but for the most part I really like what I'm seeing. You can check out the average calls by time of day. This is really great for administrators and executives to keep track of things. You can see phone numbers that were dialed to, extensions, and there's a map as well. Not to mention call logs, which is a pretty standard addition with most services. So let me get into the meat and potatoes of the Jive Communications PBX here. These are the administrative functions. On the left hand side here, you'll see a bunch of options for customizing your service. Under extensions, your lines, your ring groups, conference rooms, call queues. Before you actually get into your dial plans, you're going to want to set these things up first. For example, set up your business hours. We're not going to do anything fancy here. We're just going to have general hours. This was already set, but let me show you guys for the sake of example. What you basically do is double click where you're going to start. As you can see, 9. We're regular Monday to Friday 9 to 5 operation here. So all you do is click and drag. No reason to touch your keyboard at all. And we have the same hours for the next 4 days, so you would just hit the paper to the right here. And as you can see so far, it's a very intuitive, smart system that they use. I love that everything is visual. It's a nice change of pace from some of the drudgery that comes along with setting up your PBX system and some of these phone management interfaces that aren't so user-friendly. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. You'll see the progress bar fill up, and that means it's all set to go. Next thing I want to show you, and just save here too to be sure. Next thing I want to show you is the dial plans. Now this is my main dial plan, and there's an editor. Like I said before, the service is extremely visual, and that's what I really love about it. Let me see if I can, I'll just drag to the center of the screen here, and you get the Jive, no pun intended. But anyway, here's basically your start point. This is more or less where your calls are going to be coming in. For your information, whenever you're setting up the system, you're going to want it to detect a fax first. You don't want to bury this within your settings, because any calls that come in that are in fact a fax are just going to get lost and not be able to get through the menus, because clearly they are automatic processes. So as you can see here, there's a little bullseye with a node, and this is where you would set basically what the next step is going to be in this chronology, in this timeline of your phone system. So the next node, if you follow this down to here, is going to be to the schedule. So that's set up to our general schedule. So if it say, for instance, that it's Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, that's when we're open. So it's open, and the next node is going to go to the auto attendant. Now if there's a timeout, which is 8 seconds, then it would go to a simple dial, which is my extension. Say that didn't answer, then it would go next to an external number. We'll say I didn't want it to go to my external number, to my cell, and I would rather it just be to a voicemail. What you would do is just take the bullseye, click, and then drag to the next node, which would be to leave a voicemail. So as you can see, it's a really intuitive, smart system. I think Jive are a cut above the rest, frankly, by employing such a system. I haven't really seen anything like this anywhere else, and setting up calling options and rules is something that I really absolutely dread, candidly speaking. So on the left side here, you can see some more of these options. If you ever wanted to add perhaps another auto attendant, all you would do is click and drag, and there you go, it's right on top here. So If you had a few different sound clips set, they would all be saved in the database. And I'm going to back out of the dial plan here. I'm sure you guys have seen enough. So there you go, your dial plan was saved successfully. This is actually a separate window, so I can go ahead and close it out. And that's pretty much about it. There's a lot of other options here for system settings. As you can see, it's a really comprehensive service. It's incredibly thorough, and most of all, it's very visual. So I'm going to wrap it up here. That's Jive Communications hosted PBX portal. It's pretty much amazing and one of my favorites thus far. I'm not going to have any bones about it. Alright, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a close look at the back end of Jive's hosted PBX service. If you have any questions or comments, of course, you can leave them for us and we will address them. But for the time being, I am going to think that I gave you a pretty holistic and intimate view of how Jive Communications works and what it's about. So thanks for tuning in. Again, this has been Mike from GetVoIP.com.